entering it into the calculator. Do you need help getting there?
Um, I'm good right now. I'm just gonna put it all in
Okay.
that L1 column, correct?
Yes, yes.
All right, so I have all of them in L1 right now.
Okay, I'm almost there with you. Uh, so the other thing is to make sure that you actually have entered all of them. You've entered all of them correctly. Uh, it's easy to, miss one. There should be 18. You should be on row 19 when you do all that. So
Yeah,
that enter your data, that's stat, edit. Now to do your 5-number summary, you go to stat, calc, one var
var1.
stats.
And then I just click calculate, correct?
Yeah, yeah. Uh,
So then,
so here, I'm going to snip in my screen. We'll compare. It's possible, I've made mistakes because I didn't enter it right, vice versa. So did you get a mean of 19?
I did.
Okay, so that's good. Now the next thing is I'm going to scroll down and get all the other stuff. Uh, all right. So here's the rest of it. Does yours look the same as what I've got on screen?
Um, yeah, identical.
Good. Okay, so you probably have had discussions in your classes about AI and chat GPT and all that stuff that's going on in the world right now.
Mhm.
Computers only do what you tell them to do. You still have to interpret this. Like it's not good enough for you to just be like, look, there's my answer. Like you need to know that the mean is X bar. You have to know that.
Oh, mm,
You have to know that med is the median. Like it's not good enough to just like write all this down. You need to give them just what they ask for.
yeah. Can't just put in a bunch of random stuff.
Right. All right. So the next thing here is can you like how do we want to proceed here? So sorry, I'm just looking up some other things to see what we can do. The mode you cannot get from this list. Notice the mode is not here. Okay, so the mode you have to get some other way, and we'll talk about that.
All
So if we
right.
go back up and look, we get the mean and the median, that's no problem. Dot plot frequency table, we'll talk about that. 5-number summary you do get. So that's over here. The 5-number summary is this right here. That's the 5-number summary.
So are they like just the last five things shown?
Yes. Min, the min, Q1, median, Q3, and the max. That's your 5-number summary.
Okay,
So when
so
it asks
like
for a 5-number summary, it's asking for these 5 things.
equals five number summary. All right.
Okay, so now this is where we're going to make a box and whisker plot and talk about quartiles. Is that okay?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So I'm going to share my screen on the calculator. All right. So the first thing you can do here is you can go to second, hit the second button, and then stat plot. And you should see something like this.
Similar
Okay, hit enter. You have to turn
on
it
number one.
on. Say that again.
On number one.
Yeah. On number one, hit enter. Your cursor will be blinking on the off. Hit the on there. And then you want to
Um,
choose.
I'm not. Okay, so I have names, ops, math.
Okay, yeah, we're under second stat plot.
Second. So second stat.
No, second y
Oh,
equals
y
of stat
equals.
plot.
My bad.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, then enter. Click on. Now it's on. So should I go back to just normal stat?
Nope. You have to turn this on, hit enter, and get to this
Yeah,
screen right here. Let me know when you're on the screen.
yeah, I'm on that screen and I clicked on.
All right, you have to turn it on, and then you have to choose what your type is. Your type is, we're going to go down to type, and you want to choose the box and whisker
Yeah.
plot here
Okay,
and hit enter.
enter.
So your screen should look something like mine.
It does.
Okay, now we're going to hit the graph button. Now, depending on what you have done, you may or may not see anything.
I got an error. Error syntax.
Oh boy. All right. This is a limitation of what we got here. So I don't know. You have to tell me if yours looks similar. Like, does it say L1? Does it say frequency?
Um,
Does yours say L1?
it does say L1.
Okay. Now click on the stat button down here.
Oh,
Edit. Is your data in L1 or does it say something else?
it says L1.
Okay. Well, that's bad. Click on Y equals. Do you have anything in here in Y equals?
Yeah, it says 1 OG.
Okay. Clear that out.
All right. So
And
now
then
go back to
hit
second
graph.
step.
Yeah. Well, hit graph. Just graph on the right. See if it works this time.
Um, I do see a graph, and yeah, mine looks just like yours right now without the
Okay.
little
Now the
markup
problem is there's
button.
nothing in our window. So now we're going to go to zoom, click on zoom, and you're going to
Zoom,
go to up to zoom stat, zoom 9,
zoom 9, and then
hit
oh,
enter.
whoa, that's funky looking.
All right. So you should have something that looks like this, roughly.
Mhm.
You have something that looks like that?
I do.
Wow. All right. Works. Okay. If I were in a classroom, we would reset the memory on the calculator for everyone because this is you don't like because you could be using it in another class. It's it's
Yeah,
very
yeah.
it's just like when you play sports check. All right, we're starting fresh. All right,
Yeah.
let me share this other screen now. Okay, so quartiles. All right, let me switch to a different color here. I know we don't like red, but this one right here, this is called quartile 1. This
Uh-huh.
one is quartile 2, quartile 3, and quartile 4. It corresponds to the min. This last one isn't quite right. Sorry about that. All of this is quartile 4. Min max. This is Q1. This is Q3, and this is the median.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so in your 5 number summary, you have these values. So we're gonna label them now. But I'm gonna do that on another window here. Okay, so your 5 number summary says that the min is 10. This is 10. Q1 is 15.
Oh, okay, this makes sense.
Median is 17.5. And these line up like that's 15 down there. This one is 24 and the max is 40. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Is that okay? Because you're probably gonna have this either, well, at some point you're gonna make box and whisker plots.
Yeah, because I haven't seen this in class yet, but I bet like next week we'll probably do something with that.
So the interquartile range is Q3 minus Q1.
Q3 minus Q1. So then That's just the formula for it, pretty much.
Yep.
I Q R equals Q 3 minus. Okay, actually, I was doing a little bit of that, but not actually on the graph.
Okay.
Oh, so 40 is the piece of data that like is so unrelated with everything else that you just get rid of it, right?
It's considered an outlier. Uh,
Outlier, that's its name.
yeah. Okay. So let's let's talk about some other things that the calculator can do. Um, so I'm going to go back. So like in terms of what we have not done for this problem, we were able to do the mean, the median, five number summary, quartiles, and interquartile range. We were not able to do the dot plot or the frequency table. So let's
Oh,
talk about those next. So you're going to go back to the calculator. I'm going to go back to the calculator. Second stat plot. So get to where you're here. Second stat plot. I know you probably want to hear second y equals, but you're really supposed to say the
yeah, yeah,
like
stat plot.
second is then it's the other button.
And then will I turn off the thing we put on
Nope,
earlier?
nope. We're gonna go to this right here. This is a bar chart
Bar chart.
frequency table. We're gonna hit enter on that.
And then hit graph.
Yes.
Oh, okay. This is
Now I
actually
don't.
pretty cool.
Yeah, it kind of looks like a little city, little skyline. I mean, I don't think it's particularly. You got to really like zoom in to count heights and stuff, but it could be helpful. I mean, like this was really big deal back in 1995.
Yeah, for sure.
Now it's just like, what are we doing?
Why is it not in color?
Like, hey, here's the wooden racket. We're gonna go. How am I using this? Uh, so, uh, the way this would be helpful for you maybe is, you could sit there and count like that's one, that's two, that's three. It helps you to identify the mode potentially. Like these two are the same height, so these two are the mode, but I don't know which value they correspond to.
Um,
Right? You kind of follow what I'm saying? Like how do we like figure out, which one it is?
yeah.
So there is a way. Let me go back to the calculator. The way to do it is to click on trace, click the trace button, and if you go to the right, it'll start bouncing up and down. It'll give you the number. It'll tell you that you're at 11. No, what is it telling you? All right, it's telling you you're at 13, 14, 15. 15 has a count of
17,
three.
25.
And then you go to this next one, 24 is a count of three. So that's where it's potentially useful.
Potentially useful.
Yeah, I mean, this is for your frequency table. The dot plot would look really similar. It just would have dots instead of the bar.
Oh,
Kind of, well, kind of. This is a histogram actually, but this is kind of helpful. So, um, the other thing you can do here, I'm throwing a lot at you, is you go to Stat, Edit,
stat.
and you go up to L2. Go up to L2.
Then
Let me know
go
when you're
up to
there.
L2.
Yeah. So then this is going to be maybe unclear, but we're going to try it together. Then you hit second button and then list, which
Second
is stat.
stat.
And you go over to op.
Uh,
You there?
yeah.
Hit enter for sort.
And then
Uh,
click it again, right?
oh, it didn't put it in there. All right.
Does
Sorry.
it
Let
like
me,
put it all in order?
yeah, I don't know why it didn't work.
Yeah, it didn't work for me either.
Oh,
Um,
let's try this. Sorry. Sort A. Huh, that. maybe it will just do it in here. Let me just see if I can do it. Second L1. Where did it do that? No, okay, there it is. Well, that was weird. So to do it, you have to sort it out of the screen. I thought you could sort it over here, which is what I was trying to do, but that didn't work. Let me try it here. That sort. Now it still wants to put it there. Okay. I don't know if that's
Hmm.
useful or not, but you could put it in order and then you would be able to count.
Yeah, like when we do it, like in class, like we actually draw out the graph and stuff
Yeah.
and put
These
it
are
in
all
order.
options.
Yeah, there's a lot on that calculator.
Yes. Okay, let's transition to something else here. We've kind of hit that problem as hard as we can hit it
Yeah.
for maximizing reduce. So let's look at a coin toss. Your calculator has a coin toss simulator.
Coin toss simulator.
So there's this book. It's called A Random Walk Down Wall Street. And the author looks at all of the different types of investing approaches that people have tried over the years. It's a very interesting book. It covers some history of investing also, if you're into that.
All
The
right.
reason I bring that up is there's this chapter where a probability and statistics professor, they give everyone in the room a quarter and they ask them to flip the quarter for 10 minutes. And the teacher comes back in and they collect all the papers and she sorts them. She sorts them in two piles, people that did the experiment and those that did not.
Uh,
And you might be wondering, well, how could you do such a thing? How could you figure that out? Well, if you were to flip a coin for real,
uh,
you would actually see something like this happen or more. If you did not do the experiment, you would tend to get where you wanted to alternate answers every so often.
uh,
Because this is what really happens. This is not.
and then,
Like, sure, eventually you will get the heads or tails, heads.
uh,
But uh, the teacher could do this every time, and I believe it because um, you can actually find the longest. If you flip a real coin, you will actually get a bunch of these in a row that you don't like. You're like, how could it keep being tails? Well, it just is. So that's kind of just an interesting aside there. Um,
uh,
Now, this table is different than the other ones. This is not your data. It's saying you got 0 heads 6 times. So your data is actually 0, 0, 0, 0. That's your data.
0, 0, 0, 0. Right. Yeah, you write it out. Like it gets stacked
Yes.
up six
Yes,
times.
exactly. Exactly. And it's important that you recognize it. Like I'm not going to write out 16 ones, but that's what the next one would be. 1, 1, 1, 16 times
Yeah.
and so on. Okay. So you do not evaluate this data set the same way that you do just a pure data set. Okay.
So yeah, you have to like visualize it more
Right.
than a normal one.
So in your calculator, can you go back to in your calculator, stat calc one variable stats,
Stat edit. No, calc one
stat
variable.
calc. And before you hit calculate, you see where it says, you should see a freak
Yeah,
for
free
EQ
command.
somewhere.
Should I click?
So, so normally your data is in L1 and your frequency is just one, but you can change your frequency to be like L2.
Oh, so should
Let me
I
grab a
click
screen.
second and then the number one? correct? No, the number 2.
Yeah, let me I gotta look at I have to find the screen because
Yeah.
mine
Oh.
doesn't have that. It's lame. It's really old. And, I keep telling myself, oh yeah, you need to go grab the newer one. Um, you know,
That's how I am about all my notebooks.
I'm really struggling here to find it. A
You know, I
screenshot of
what I think I'd have to do is click second and then the number 2 to get L2 in that
yeah,
pre-click.
exactly. So instead of frequency of one, it would be frequency like L2 if you put these in L2s. Like this would go in L1, this would go in L2. But again, it will only give you the mean and the median. The mode you get from figuring out which one is the most frequently occurring.
Oh, so what it just for a reminder, like what is the difference with the mean and the median? Like is mean the least and then median's the middle?
Mean is add them all up and divide by the number of numbers.
So if there's like eight numbers divided by 8 and whatever they all
Right.
add up to.
The median is the middle number.
Median
Middle
is
number
middle.
when put in order.
All right, I'm gonna write that down.
So I think it's actually like I don't really want you to do this L1, L2. I want us to do this without that. I want to show you how to do it without that. But
Mhm. Okay. Right, median, middle number, just the middle number, I guess, would work as median,
yes.
right?
Now there could be two middle numbers. So that's what we're going to talk about here in a moment. But let me grab this table one more time to to do these. So here's how you calculate the mean. Let me know when you're ready for this.
Yeah, ready.
All right, so you take the what's called the x value and you multiply it by the f value. So you take 0 times 6 plus 1 times 16 plus 2 times 14 plus 3 times 4. And then you divide by 40. And what you'll notice is that 40 is really 6 plus 16 plus 14 plus 4. You can
Yes,
see where
zero.
those numbers come from.
Yeah. So I guess why do you have to multiply them together?
Well, let's think about what the data set is. So like we just talked about, there's 6 zeros. So if you're like this right here replaces 0 plus 0 plus 0 plus 0 plus 0 plus 0. And then like it'll make more sense over on the right. There's 3 fours, so it's 4 plus 4 plus 4. It's replacing it. 1 plus 1 plus
Oh,
1
okay.
plus 1.
That makes sense, right? Because it's like you have to visualize it like being
Yes.
stacked up pretty much.
Okay. So could you do this calculation for us?
Yeah. Let
And
me.
if you're going to use a calculator, which you probably are, make sure you put parentheses in the numerator and the denominator. Otherwise, you'll get a number you don't expect.
All right.
You'll
Parentheses.
tell me it's like, I don't know what you'll tell me.
Times 6 plus.
Okay, that's not going to work.
Like Wait, parentheses like around all of those, like just the
Yeah,
two big parentheses, or parentheses for every single little one?
you don't need those. You can just do 0 times 6 plus 1 times 16
Oh,
plus
okay.
2 times. The parentheses are just for visual.
Yeah.
That
One point four.
Okay, 1.4, that is reasonable. Now the median's a little bit more difficult. There's 40 numbers total, and we don't want to write them all out. So the middle number, there's the 20 and the 21st are the two middle numbers. So we just have to figure out what the 20 and 21st number are. Okay, so the first six are 0, and then the next 16 are 1.
And the
So the
next,
so that this gets you the first 22 numbers. The first six are 0, but then the seventh number up through the 22nd number are 1.
uh-huh,
So that means the 20th and the 21st number are both 1.
both one. Okay.
So when there's two middle numbers, you add them up and divide by the number of numbers.
So then, would it always work out that nicely where it would just stay as one?
No, no. Like sometimes it's like 1, depending on the data set, it could be like 1 and 20. I mean, it could be anything. Like it could be 55 and 72 are the two middle numbers.
Uh-huh.
So when you have an even number of numbers, you're going to take the average of them.
So then, so how would I find the average, I guess, for that? Like, would I look at what's in between both of them, like the middle?
We'll do an example like that in a minute. Forget about those for the time being. We're gonna get to that. Just ignore those.
Mhm.
For this one, the median is 1.
Median is one. So then we know the mean, we know the median. Now
Now
we
the
need to
mode
know the mode
mode is the most frequently occurring.
most frequently occurring.
So a couple of things about the mode. It has to be there. It has to occur more than once. That's thing one. Thing two is that there can be more than one mode. So I'll show you some of those examples here in a moment.
All right.
Okay, let's look at another. So in this data set, which one occurs most frequently? What number?
Um, one.
1. Good. So there's many ways to answer it wrong. You're supposed to say, oh, this is the biggest number. Which one does it correspond back to?
And that's the correct way to do it?
Yes, like
Okay,
what you
sweet.
did. Okay, now let's look at just a data set to answer some of these other questions you have about mean, median, mode. So let's look. We're just going to look at it. Let's look at this data set: 2, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, the median is the middle number. What is the middle number?
Three.
3. So notice when there's an odd number of numbers, you do not have to do anything. What is the mode?
Um, the mode is 1 second. Most frequent zero. There is no mode. Two. It's two.
2. 2. All right, let's look at another data set here. And I'm going to add in another number. What is the median? So you've got an even number of numbers. You got 6 numbers. So
So it
there are
would be 2
two
and
middle
4.
numbers. So you have to
3
find the
plus 4
average.
divided by 2, which is 7 over 2, which is 3.5.
What is the mode?
The mode is most frequently used number, which would be 2.
2. Good. All right. Is that starting to make sense?
Yeah, that's starting to like kind of set in for me.
Okay. Now it gets more difficult with a frequency table, which is what we were doing. So let's go back to frequency tables. So here's another frequency table. So again, this data set, this is not the data set. Neither of these are the data set. The real data set is 0, 0, 1, 1, 1, 1, 2, 2, 2, and so on,
2,
right?
0, 1.
Take a look at those first three. That's the real data set, but they're summarizing it here. This is a summary of the data set.
Summary of the data set. So wait, sorry. What? So what you say right before summary of the data set? Like
This over here to
just
the right is the start of the real data set. There's 2 zeros, 2 zeros, 2 zeros. There are 4 1s, four
and
ones,
then there's 7 twos.
7 2s. And then if I
Four
go to threes,
threes,
1, 2, 3, 4 3s, 2 4s, 6, it's 8 7s,
13 eights,
right?
7 nines, and 2
So
tens.
and so on, right? Like you could build this data set. We don't want to, but you could. Okay. This time you do need to add them up. You need to get the sum here, or the count, or the total. So I need you to add up the frequencies, please.
Um, that would be 6, 40 as the total.
Okay. I'm going to take your word for it. Go with that. So again, let's find the mean. It's time to find the mean. You have to take the x value times the frequency value. You have to take 0 times 2 plus 1 times 4 plus 2 times 7 plus 3 times 4. And before you think, oh, this is horrible, like I can't believe I have to do this, it's way better than adding up all these numbers.
That's
So
true.
so it's always like, dose of reality. Like what's the real, we don't have to make our own food. We got gas stations, we got a lot of things that are pretty good.
Yeah, don't have to grow it.
When you complain about picking up the tennis balls, it's like, well, at
At
least
least
you
I
got a
don't.
fence. At least they're not like all over the place, even though they feel
Yeah,
like it.
not out on the road.
Yeah. I mean, when I was a kid, we did sometimes, someone would hit a ball and like get one ball. It's like, go get it. Jumping over fences and
I feel like there could be like a book about that almost.
yeah, you distract the dog, well, I'll jump in. Or you will both jump in and one of us will get it and the other one will.
Someone's got to go on the pool floaty because they don't want to get wet and it landed in the
Yeah.
pool. So then, oh right, I need to put that all into my calculator. Um, on and I still want to do parentheses outside that.
Yeah, yeah, definitely a big difference in there.
249.
And
Oh
then
yeah,
divide by
yeah.
40.
I forgot to divide it by 40. 249 divided by 40. 6.225.
Okay, that's reasonable. So the next one here is the median. So the way you do the median is if it's even, in this case, it's even, there's an even number of numbers, you divide it by two. So that means you need the 20th and then the 21st number.
20th and 21st.
So you got to just sit there and count till you get to 22. And then you can maybe add another column here. Like this is the total. So there's 2, 6, 13, 17, 19, 19. So the 20th value is 6.
Okay, wait, sorry. So the what value is 6, you said?
The 20th value is 6.
The 20th value. Because you're adding up those numbers until it gets to 20,
Yeah.
which would be the middle, which is the median.
Well, that's the 20th. We need the 20th and the 21st.
20th and 21st. So,
There's 40 numbers. Like maybe we
oh,
need to
right, yeah,
simplify.
even amount of numbers, so then there's 2 in the middle, so it's, like, actually the middle, to, like, break it up into 2.
Yeah.
So
And so
then
then this gets the 7 is the 20, the 8 is the 28th. You just need the 21st. You have to know, oh, there's that it's also a 7.
oh. 6 plus 7 plus 2. So then that's really I like how easy it is to figure out what that number actually is for
So
being in the
like
middle.
the idea here is that it's way better than writing out all these numbers and counting. But if you're
Yeah,
like really don't like what I said or don't fully understand, then you're left to do this. Now, the
yeah,
way the teacher gets around this is they make huge frequencies and they say, you don't have enough
yeah.
time. Yeah, but like you probably could write out the 40 numbers and be okay.
Yeah, but I'll choose not to do that one.
That would be a good
A lot
idea.
of lot of writing.
Yeah. So mode, you're going back to the table and you're looking for the highest frequency.
Highest frequency. So then the highest frequency was would you mind scrolling up for me please for that one?
Yeah, sure, sure. Sorry about that.
Oh good. That would have to be 8. Number of messages would be 8.
Yes.
And that happened 13 times. So I guess we'd say 13.
Well, you just give the mode. The mode is just 8. That's enough.
Oh, that was 8. Oh,
That's
because
it.
yeah, you're saying the amount.
Yes.
Because you already know it's the highest. You're just
Yeah.
saying the amount.
And you
Okay.
just want to be careful. You want to be careful there to give the right number. It's the X value.
Yeah. Yeah, it might just help to write it out as a sentence, like 8 times no, 13 times students sent, like, 8 text messages or whatever.
Yeah.
And that's probably, like, okay for a test. We're probably encouraged, I'd say.
All right. So in the time we've got left, here's another data set for you to look at. I want you to find the mean, median, and mode
Alright.
of this.
Um,
And
you know, the, mode there's 3 modes.
okay, what are they?
145, 150, and 138.
Okay. So
And
notice
it's
these are
fine
out
for
and notice these are out of order, which is really bad. I don't really like this because it's going to affect how you do the median.
yeah.
Gosh, why do they do this? Okay, so there's 136. Is that the smallest? And
Yes, then it's 139.
138. Get down there
Oh, yeah,
too.
138.
And that's what the problem is. It's easy to do this where you're like, which one is it? 144 is one.
145, 150, 152.
145 is two. 150 is two. And then 152 is one. Okay. So Just the median. Well, mean and median. The mean you could do either way, but um,
And then, so I got, okay, so then to find out the median, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's 144. It's the median
how did you come up with that?
because it is
How
the
many
number
values total are there?
7. Wait, did I count that wrong? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah. So I know it's
There,
just in the middle.
there are 10. There are 10 values.
What? No.
Yeah, one plus
Oh,
two.
right.
Yes, there are seven X's, but
I forgot.
the number, yeah, it's good to do it how, we're practicing for
Yeah,
the real thing, the
definitely.
test.
All right. Yeah. So there's 10, which means that 5 would be the median. No,
Okay,
5 and
five and
6.
six. You need the fifth and the sixth value. That's why putting them in order is so important.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, 5 and 6. And then um median. Oh, I have to find the mean. So
Oh no, I still want to. I don't. I want you to tell me the median. I
oh
still don't
oh
get it.
5 11 over 2, which is 5.5.
No, 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 no. You have to give me the fifth value. Like the first value in the data says 136.
So
Like if you were to write out this data set, it's 136, 138, 138,
uh
139, 144, 145, 145, 150, 150, 152. It's much easier to do it this way. I was trying to see if you could do it without writing out. Give me the fifth value. Like that's the first, second, third is 138, fourth is 139, fifth is 144. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The sixth is
oh
145. You can see
one
that.
144 plus 145 over 2.
Yes,
Sorry, I don't know why that was like just not going through my head right. So then
that's
that would
okay.
be
That's okay.
um 289 over 2, which would be, of course, 144.5 because I can do that mentally. And then,
All right. So the average, we don't have time for that, but you take the x and multiply it by the f, or because you've got them all listed out, maybe just add them all up and divide by the number of numbers.
divide them by 10. Yeah.
Yes. Yes. Okay. So just to summarize here, there's two types of problems we did. One's where you're given the entire data set. The other is when you're given the x and the f, and they're two different approaches. So keep that in mind.
Oh,
All right. We do unfortunately have to stop here for today. I know, kind of get